Greetings, fellow mapmakers. A little over a year ago, in March 2012, Google MapMaker released this video about mapping trails using GPS overlays.
Hey mapmakers! Do you use apps like MyTracks? Would you like to be able to map your local trails for other hikers to use?
The process involves using an application like MyTracks on a smartphone to record the location of a trail in the field and then overlaying that in Google MapMaker. In this video, I'm going to show a real-life demonstration of what this process looks like. You definitely want to watch that video first before following along with this one if you haven't already. The reason I wanted to do this is that the video suggests that GPS tracks are more precise than they really are. So here is an area where some trails around a pond are partially visible in the satellite image and partially obscured. So it gives us a good place to test out what this looks like. It's a good place to experiment with the accuracy of drawing in trails using GPS overlays. On the satellite image, you can see the trail fairly well most of the way around the pond. The trail has a couple of branches. It's part of a larger set of trails that are currently not located on the street map. I wanted to put these trails on the map, and most of them are not visible on the satellite image, and so using a GPS overlay makes a lot of sense. I recorded a number of tracks around this trail using the MyTracks application on my Android phone and then uploaded all of them to a map in Google My Maps. So here in Google Maps, you can see that the various tracks I recorded are spread out quite a bit. In some areas there's incredibly good consistency between the different tracks, and the tracks are located right on the trail, but most of the time they're not neatly set right on the path. Most of the time there's quite a bit of spread between the various tracks. So what do you do in a situation where you want to map a set of trails that you can't see in the satellite image? If you are mapping by using a GPS overlay, you should definitely be aware of the errors in GPS measurements. It's easy to fool yourself into thinking that the GPS data is more accurate than it really is. So I think we have to recognize that in order to map the trails really well, we need to record the GPS track multiple times, and of course always use as much information from the satellite image as possible. Once you have recorded the GPS tracks you need and uploaded them all into one of your Google My Maps, getting them into MapMaker as an overlay is pretty easy, as discussed in the MapMaker video. Now I've got the overlay in MapMaker and I'm ready to start adding the trail. To do this, you click on the big red Add New button and choose Roads, Rivers, and Railways, and then choose the option for Trail or Path. Now I'm ready to map the trail. It's important to note that the GPS overlay doesn't somehow convert into the trails on the map. You still have to go in and mark the trail by hand. In places where the trail is clearly visible on the satellite image, you should definitely stick to it. But in places where you can't see the trail, your GPS overlay gives you an estimate on where it is located. One difficulty is that there is no easy way to toggle your overlay on and off, and you can see that with so many tracks it can be difficult to see the trail on the satellite image. So the overlay can get in the way if the trail is already visible on the satellite image. Another problem is that the overlay is clickable. When clicking points to mark the trail, you can't actually click on the overlay. If you do, you get a pop-up window rather than placing a trail point. So when you click to mark your points, you have to click them just next to your trail overlays. However, you can click a point to create it and then grab it and slide it to move it over to the top of the overlay if you wish. So I hope this has been helpful, and if you have any questions or comments, please let me know.